It's Nick Frick, your favorite career coach for moms. And I'm here to talk today about salary negotiations and making sure that you know in the beginning of the process whether or not you're wasting your time. So, I just had a call with someone who was eager to find a new job, but afraid that if they took a new job in the seniority that they have, they would have to take a pay cut. And I wanted to let you know that it is possible for you to take a new job without a pay cut, no matter what your job is. Okay. Let's start with that. And then I'm going to tell you why. So, for in the framework that I use for that's coming out in my book, and also that I use in my coaching in the group that's starting next week, is create clarity, take action, sustain joy. So inside of create clarity, we talk about what you actually want, right? So if you want a job that gives you the same pay or more pay, even if you have equity, like we will steer clear of jobs that won't pay you that. And so when we that seems like a simple fix, right? It seems like, oh, I'll just not apply for jobs then. And you're like, but what about all the jobs that I want to take? There's so many jobs. How do I apply for a job when I want need or want a job? And so the part that comes from the framework that I teach and the philosophy that I teach is that we slow down before we speed up and take action. So we slow down to make sure what we want is what we want, and that we believe that we want can have it, so that later we can negotiate for it. So these are called non-negotiables. There are also different types of things that you can this can work for other things inside of a negotiation besides fear of getting a salary pay cut. So the first thing to do when determining whether or not you should apply for a job is, or when you're reached out by a recruiter, is make sure that you ask them in the beginning of the process. So if it's a recruiter reaching out to you on LinkedIn, ask them what the salary range is for this role. And just remember, you don't have to tell them how much you're making. Just check in with that. That will tell you the seniority of the role, and if it's worth your time to do. If you're reaching out or applying to jobs, ensure that when you get on the first call with a recruiter, after they've seen your resume and you're kicking ass, they know you're kicking ass, like ask them right away what the salary range is, to make sure that you're not wasting your time. And know that if you're applying to jobs, only apply to jobs that you actually want to do, right? And so if there's a job that you don't want to do, don't apply to it. It's it's like it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? Like we sometimes apply to jobs. I've seen rather people apply to jobs because they get there's scarcity in time. They're feeling rushed. They just need a job because they need money. And what we want to make sure is that understanding that neither of those things are good or bad. It's just like what you need to do in this season of life. So sometimes we need to prioritize timing, and sometimes we need to prioritize financial security, and sometimes we need to prioritize fulfillment, getting exactly what we want. And so how to not take a pay cut when you're looking for a new job is to only apply to jobs that will pay you as much as you want. And this might be, I promise, this will probably be frustrating in the beginning because there's going to be fewer jobs potentially when you're talking to them. But as you move forward and believe in yourself, the pay cut will be less likely to happen because you've said no to the people who are not going to pay you. And the universe hears you say that, and knows that you're clearly asking for that. For example, this happened to me a couple of months ago when I was talking to a client who didn't want to, who said that they weren't able to work with me because of the price that I was, because of the investment, right? And so when she asked me if she could get a discount, I said no, she couldn't get a discount. I don't give a discount. And she then hired me, even though I didn't offer a discount. And that is how money shows up when you stand in your power of like, I don't offer a discount for my services as an employee at a job. It not only shows the people who you're asking for the money from, but also shows the universe that you are serious about it. Like if you don't want to take a pay cut, don't take a pay cut, right? And if this is something that's giving you like the heebie-jeebies, I can't think of another word to describe it. If it's causing you some anxiety or frustration or like confusion, this is definitely a time when you could hire a coach to support you in doing this and letting you know, someone like me, to help you build that muscle, to make sure that you feel worthy of that. Because a lot of times when we get into the negotiation part of a job search or when we get into a situation in the job search where we want to ask about money, but because it's such a taboo subject in all of our lives, we don't want to talk about it. So knowing that you can talk about it, that if it's very important to you, it's in your best interest to bring it up in one of the first calls or in even the first message that the recruiter sends to you when they're looking to hire you. Because a lot recruiters don't reach out to everyone. They reach out to people who they think are going to be a great fit for the role. So if you're getting reached out to, celebrate that. And so if you want to learn more, I'll be teaching more of this framework inside of my group that starts next week on Wednesday. And if you want to get in, grab in the post for this, there's a link to sign up, but you can go to nickfrick.com/group. We start next Wednesday, and I'll be sharing this information, how to negotiate, what to negotiate, and going through my whole framework of like getting that clarity that you need, the path, the strategy, and the execution, doing the more masculine piece of the role, which is going over your resume, practicing interviewing, and finally the sustainment of joy in your job search so that you feel really good for the whole time that you're in the job search. Because a job search is like another job, and I don't want you to burn out in either your job or the job that you're looking for. So if you want some support, I'm here. I would love to work with you. Feel free to reach out if you have more questions, and let me know if you've watched this on the replay or if you're live. Talk to you soon.